All right, peace, family, peace. We are now live. Let me know if y'all can hear me. We're having a couple of technical difficulties. Ain't nothing that the gods can't fix.
Yeah,
So
or the
we,
goddesses.
or the goddesses, exactly. So we are the gods of the goddesses fixed it. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me, family. We live right now. I know we a little late. Mama Pill, mom, your mic, Mama Pill, I can't hear you. She must have pressed mute or something. All right, y'all can hear me? Okay, good.
Okay.
You good now? Yeah, I think
Okay.
you must have pressed mute or something.
No, someone was calling me.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Red
that's what.
pill.
Right. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, family, we about to get started. We gonna get to a couple of ads. Very important show tonight, very critical show for us to understand what's going on with this thing called demons and this thing we also call parasites in our body. I'm with the one and only Mama Pill. Y'all know what she brought to the entire earth in terms of health. Her along with Dr. Sabi. So it's gonna be a great show, family. Stay tuned. I'll be right back, family.
Hey there! Had a bad dream? I have dreams too. Some parts are scary and some parts are fun. Always remind yourself, it's only a dream and everything will be okay. I had a dream about being in a forest too. Check it out, my pet Petey was with me. Order your copy of Kayla Petey and the Forest on Amazon today.
Hey family, this is King Simon. Don't forget about getting your new motivation session at 347-496-1022. And don't forget about the Cosmic Alignment Workshop on May the 15th. Go to zenbar.org. That's zenbar.org.
Family, also make sure you tap in on May 21st, 2022. The Qigong Energy Training Workshop by the Master Teacher Wayne Chandler, author of the world's best-selling book, Ancient Future. It's going to be off the hook. Go to waynechandler.eventbrite.com, family, for that and for more information as well. All right. So we are now back. Mama Pill, we are live. So let me start out like this, Mama Pill. Through my experience in life, the times that before I even knew information about the connection between parasites and demons and aliens and all this other stuff, the time in my life when I had the worst nightmares, I mean the absolute worst nightmares, it happened to coincide with the time I ate the worst. I mean, I was eating late at night and I'm like, so when I got a little older and I found out the connection, I'm like, damn, so food will make me think about all that crazy shit in my mind while I'm asleep. So talk to me about the title, parasites, how they're able to take over the host. And it sounds very similar to what demons do when they possess your body. It sounds exactly the same. So talk to me about that,
Okay,
Mama.
so well, first of all, I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for having me tonight, and thank the family, all of those that are here with us tonight. And I'm going to also start off with saying, after the show, everybody can just Google the 10 most deadliest parasites. And when you Google that, right, you know how Google will have a whole stream of articles or information relevant to the topic of parasites. So after the show, everybody could do that because there's about 12 articles in that stream that are going to go into real detail about the different types of parasites and what they do. But I think it was over probably 15 years ago. We started, meaning Sabi, my aunt, and I, when we had the institute in various cities, we started getting a lot of individuals coming to us that had infestation of parasites, right? So Sabi was the one that really broke it down and explained, because the people are like, how am I getting these parasites? I'm not eating pork anymore, because it was thought that only the pork was infecting people. I think it's the tapeworm with the pork.
That's what
right?
I heard.
Right. But a lot of people had stopped eating pork 10, 12 years ago, but they were still experiencing these infections, right? Or these infestations. So parasites are on different types of food, not just pork, but other kinds of animal flesh. Sometimes you have parasites, like in lettuce and vegetables, because it's in the it's in the soil, right? So you eat it, and then generally when people have very, very healthy stomachs, meaning the stomach is producing, potent hydrochloric acid, right? The hydrochloric acid usually can kill these like parasites, worms, and such. But since we have so many individuals operating with a weak stomach, meaning the stomach isn't producing enough hydrochloric acid, or ironically, because people are on this very, very sort of almost unhealthy alkaline craze, people are drinking alkaline water. And I'm not talking about naturally occurring alkaline water. I'm talking about alkaline water that people set the alkalinity of the water with a machine. What happens is when they drink that water, they dilute their stomach's hydrochloric acid. So if that happens, that means that whatever you ate, whether it be plant-based or even if it's animal flesh, that substance is not going to digest. So you have it sitting in your stomach, not going through the next stage of digestion, meaning the stages of digestion in the stomach. And the reason why we have these chemicals like hydrochloric acid, and the stomach secretes digestive enzymes. These are all chemicals that break down what you just ate, almost like how you put solid things in a blender.
Right.
And you press puree or liquefy. Well, the stomach does that.
That's a good analogy. Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
So they call it, when you chew it and you swallow it, because the first stage of digestion is in your mouth. So that's why it's important. You remember when we were children, they said chew your food 30 times.
Yeah. They wasn't lying.
We don't do that.
No, we don't. We don't.
So when we eat in solid foods, they're already going down, and they're not properly what is the word? It's when you chew it, emasticating the food. So when it goes down into the stomach, it's sometimes it's still like in solid form. It's not mixed with the saliva and like liquidy, right? So then that means the hydrochloric acid can do that. But if you don't have it in there, right? If you don't have enough, or if it's weak, then like I said, the food is gonna sit there and it's gonna rot. And anything that starts to rot and putrefy, meaning go through these different stages of rotting, it's very similar to like when you see the other day I was riding on the highway in Atlanta, and it was a dead deer on the side of the highway, and there were buzzards pecking at it, eating the dead carcass, right? The dead flesh. So in nature, there are all of these entities that's what they do. They eat off the dead matter. So inside of us, we have that same
thing,
universal order, right?
Yeah.
So if you have things rotting inside, especially animal flesh, right? Then there are going to be these creatures that are going to start eating on that.
You're providing very dope external examples of what's going on internally to help us understand, give us a visual.
So we could see it. So we could see it. Right. So we could see it.
Yeah.
And then what also happens is in that Google stream that I told you, there's going to be an article that says something's eating on you. So parasites and worms, and harmful bacteria, they also eat on us on the inside. So that's why it's important that we understand what we're doing. we understand what we're doing. And when these sort of trends, eating trends or social trends become very popular, you really have to comprehend what you're doing, because you can, following some of these things and not comprehending what they are, you can really be making mistakes that will really harm you.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but then, like you and I were speaking yesterday, once you get a parasitical infestation, we're talking parasites reproduce in the millions in the body. And then this is the other part of it that makes it so toxic to us. If you have 1 million plus parasites in your body, a parasite is a living creature, meaning it has a whole life cycle, right? They're born, they eat on you, they excrete waste, they mate to make new parasites, and then they die. So when the new larvae are hatched inside of you, the new larvae that's the egg, right? It has to eat something in order to grow. So if it's not eating the dead matter, it's eating on you. And then when these millions of parasites, they live their full life cycle and they die, that dead matter is also in you. So those are the toxic byproducts of parasites that make them so harmful to the body. So this is why you don't want them inside. And this is something Sabi used to always remind us of. He used to say, we really have to get back to mother. He used to say it like that, right? Because a lot of our ancestral parents, they practiced like prevention so that certain things wouldn't happen. So for instance, every full moon, you would have a grandmother, maybe even your mother or an auntie that understood about herbs and understood about parasites and worms. They used to call them vermins also. They would give you a tonic, a herbal tonic, to work with the gravitational pull of the moon during the full moon 3-4 day cycle. So that the way the moon pulls on the bodies of water in the ocean is the same way it pulls on the body of water in your body. So it's a good time to flush out parasites. So they would do that every full moon. But then
that's interesting.
But then, like I say, somewhere around the late 60s, a lot of these cultural practices stopped. So that's why we have a big problem now, because people are not doing it.
Why during that time? What was it about that time where this stopped?
Because what we started to do is we started to not practice so much of our cultural habits, preventive habits, and we started like fitting in more to like the Caucasians' matrix, like what they do, and not so much what our ancestors did. I mean, it was just like a pop cultural shift.
Talk to us about parasites and your thoughts, like their ability to manipulate your thoughts, whether it's food or whether it's people.
So I always like to give analogies, because I know we're dealing with time, so people get it. Now, most of your audience is familiar with the movie Alien.
Yes.
Remember that movie, The Alien? So there was one of the crew members. It was a male, a Caucasian male, that started acting like very strange amongst the rest of the.
I remember.
Right. He was like doing some very unsavory things. And eventually what happened was, I think they had him laying on like I guess what it was like in the medical area of the ship, and all of a sudden he starts, I think, convulsing, and then this thing popped out of his abdominal area
Mm-hmm.
and fell on the ground and started scurrying all around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was Hollywood's
Version of.
version of that was a parasite inside of him. It had taken control of his mind, and the parasite had him doing things that were putting the rest of the crew in danger. So like I said, that's Hollywood. That's, drama. It's all, you know how Hollywood, they sensationalize a thing. But that scene was based on factual, real life, situations.
Definitely.
Yes. Yes. So parasites can because a parasite uses a human body or an animal as a host.
As a host.
So that the parasite's life and existence is depending upon living off of the life force energy of the host. The host gets no benefit from a parasite. The parasite gets all the benefit. So that's just the nature of a parasite.
So it's fair to say when we hear about being possessed by the devil or being possessed by demons, that's that parasite in you. It's safe to say that.
Yes, because like let's just say a person is saying, "Oh, I want to do a detox. I want to change my diet. I think I'm going to try to be a vegetarian, or one stage of vegetarianism, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop all the beef, all the pork, all the lamb, right? So they attempt to do it, right? But parasites, that's the type of like animal flesh. Dead animal flesh is what parasites live off of, that type of substance. So some people find it very difficult to let the flesh go, because they'll say, "Oh man, I was doing good for a whole 5 days, and then all of a sudden I just couldn't help myself. I just had to go into maybe Popeyes, and get that."
Yeah, no, yeah. You get them,
get that 8-piece.
Get them crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just an example, but they do operate on that principle. They do operate on principle. A lot of what you think you're eating for yourself, you're not. You're eating to feed them. Yes. And then they have parasites that are very diabolical in terms of like how they have the host thinking and what they'll influence the host to do. Yes.
This real stuff. Yeah.
No, it's real. It's real. It's not. I mean, it's no conspiracy theory I'm talking here. That's why when I speak like this, I like to have resources, and sources, so that after people hear us, they can do their homework for themselves. So before we started the program, I was looking for that article, The 10 Deadliest Parasites, because I used to have a printout of that when people would come to the Institute, and I would give that to them.
I'm gonna pull that up right now. But the one question I have before I pull it up, Mama Pill. So do you think parasites naturally make people more violent? So if I'm a vegan, I'm not going to be as violent as a meat eater. Is that fair to say, or is that unfair to the people who eat meat, that just because they eat meat, they're naturally prone to violence and fighting and killing and all of that?
Well, I think there's something to that. I'm thinking that if somebody's consuming animal flesh, especially now today in our society, like the animal flesh that's being created for the consumer market today is not the same animal flesh that your grandmother and my let's go back, great grandmother, right? Just to be on the safe side. Like our great grandmothers were not eating the same animal flesh that say is in the supermarket today. Because your great grandmother and mine, they were still living basically more of a rural life, and they were more in control of growing the food they ate and also growing the animals that they would slaughter and consume.
Right.
But that's not the situation now in terms of the whole industry of what do they call it? I think they call it husbandry. That's that in agriculture and the food industry. That's the industry of raising animals for human consumption. Yeah. So we have to think that also that not only is a person eating the animal flesh, but today, because of how the animals are mass produced and the environment they're mass produced under and the food that they're fed, right? And the fact that a lot of animals that are being raised for food, human consumption, they suffer disease because of how they're mass produced. And then so it's also a fact that the pharmaceutical companies are selling, I think they said at least the largest percentage of pharmaceutical antibiotics are not sold to humans or utilized by humans. They're utilized by the food industry for animals.
That's something a lot of us don't know. Yeah.
Right. So that's another reason why so many people are having metabolic nutrient absorption problems, because they are consuming antibiotics that are in the animal flesh and in the animal blood that you consume and you eat. And so antibiotics, what they do is they destroy very, very helpful bacteria in your intestinal flora, your intestinal tract. So a dose of antibiotics could just totally wipe them all out. So they don't even have a chance. These good bacteria don't even have a chance to sort of repopulate your gut, because you're constantly eating the animal flesh that is, it has the, it's the antibiotic is present. That chemical is present all the time. So that's another problem we're having today.
What about our fruits today, Mama Pill? I seen the videos. I don't know if they're fake or not, where somebody puts like water or salt or something on a strawberry, and you see the little worms coming out the strawberries. People keep saying the fruits is horrible if we eat fruits.
That's true too, because let's just look at how that's even possible. So if you ever go to California, or you which I have, right? And you're traveling along the highway, and you see miles and miles of land that is agricultural land, right? It could be miles and miles of strawberry, miles and miles of lettuce. The people that are picking those strawberries and that lettuce are basically immigrants. Right? So a lot of times they're not bathroom facilities, in the field. So people defecate and they urinate, they spit, and they do all of that right in the soil. So a lot of times the food crop gets contaminated because of these situations. Yeah.
What do you feel about certain ways to get rid of the parasites? I've heard people mention enemas. How do you feel about enemas?
Okay, so again, like back in the day, one of the methods that people used in order to deworm or expel parasites is they would use one of them is worm. You've heard of wormwood?
Yes.
Yeah, wormwood was often used on a monthly basis to, like I said again, rid the body, expel the parasites during the course of the full moon, right? That was one of the ones that was most popular. Another technique they use, which I'm gonna share this with the audience, but I'm not suggesting that people use this old-fashioned remedy, because the way it was done a certain way in order to be effective and not harm the body. but they used to use a turpentine
I've heard of
method.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard
but
yeah.
you have to know how to do that. So that's why I'm saying ahead of time, because I'm saying it, I'm sharing it. I'm not telling people to go use turpentine to expel parasites, because there's a way they did it. They didn't just use the turpentine just like that. It was a process. So don't go and try it on your own, because you could really harm yourself. Okay? I want to make that clear now.
Mm-hmm.
But those are substances that were used in order to kill the parasites or to expel them from the body.
Mm. Something you brought up earlier about the hydrochloric acid, something you said in a previous interview I did with you that also dilutes it. I remember you told me, and since you told me that, Mama Pill, I've been working on this hard, and that is drinking and eating at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I really make an effort to eating is a meal and drinking is its own separate meal.
Right.
So could you touch on that a little bit also? We might be able to digest the meat a little bit better or whatever if we didn't drink right behind it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So because we have adapted many cultural habits that are not healthy, that's also been harming us in terms of how our bodies, like the anatomy and physiology of how the body works, that has been interrupted because of these bad habits that we have. We're all basically doing them at some time or another. So I remember as a child, because I'm 67 years old, and there was a portion of my childhood where I lived with my nana. So we would have our meals, like our solid meals, and it would just be the meal. It would just be like, let's say my nana woke up that morning and she made us pancakes, right? We just ate the pancakes. That's it, And then around 11 o'clock, we'd be outside playing in the yard, and then she would have us come and give us water, or she used to make, like in the summertime, she would make lemonade, with the slices of lemon in the pitcher, and have us drink a tall glass of that. So the solid meal was the solid meal, meaning, we ate the solid food. She never gave us liquid to drink while we were eating or right after we were eating. So there was nothing diluting the hydrochloric acid, nothing interfering with the all the enzymes, the digestive enzymes that get secreted from the walls, none of that was diluted. So things were able to digest thoroughly. And then at the end of the day, I remember as a child, you had a very thorough bowel movement. You see what I'm saying? Because it would look like a long snake coming out of you. Right. So we didn't suffer constipation as children. I know I didn't.
We about to get to the 10 deadliest parasites, but before we do, you got something coming up. What is it? This Sunday or something? What do you have?
This Saturday, in Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, April 30th, I am doing a well, actually, I'm not presenting this affair. Sister America Sutton and Sister Batia are presenting a spiritual makeover day at a Black-owned spa in the West End part of Atlanta. And the spa houses a sauna. She has a steamed, not a steam room, but a table that they wrap you, and you experience steam. Like if you had walked into a steam room, they do the foot detox, because she has the foot detox machine therapy. She has an oxygen bar where she infuses water and liquids with oxygen. She does, what the yoni steam is? That is a therapy for women, where they do the way it's a chair, and it's designed so that it does vaginal steaming to clean the vaginal canal, right? So she has that. What else? They do.
What's your Instagram, Mama Pill, so I could pull up the flyer?
Green leaf herbs.
Greenleaf _herbs?
No, just green leaf herbs. And then Sister America's Instagram is America with a K, Sutton. And you'll see the link. You'll see the link on her Instagram, and it will take you to Eventbrite, and it'll give you all the ticket details.
This is it right here? Spiritual Makeover?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not the only speaker that day. A sister by the name of Soleil, she's going to be there. She's going to be doing yoga and meditation. Dope. So everything about that day, Brother Rich, is so the thing about doing the spiritual makeover in a actual spa environment is that everything that I just mentioned is assisting and helping the body to release waste and toxins. And then I'm going to be there doing the herbal presentation, and I'm going to have the Green Leaf Herbal Solution tonics. These are the tonics that Dr. Sebi taught me to formulate back in 1981 when I started my apprenticeship with him. So I'm going to have the blood tonic. I'm going to have the nerve tonic. I'll have the Sea Moss Plus, and I'm going to have the Colonese, which is the bitters. So they're going to have a full day of modalities that assist in helping the body do a thorough detox. Then at the end of the day, Sister America she's a performing artist. So she plays do you know what sound bowls are?
Yeah, definitely. I got me some.
She
got me
she
one
does,
right here, Mama Pill.
Okay.
Let me hit it one time for us, Mama Pill. Let me hit it one time for us, Mama Pill. Let me hit it one time for us. All right. I keep a sound bowl over here.
I should have known that you knew, Brother Rich. Yeah. So anyway, she has a band, and they're going to be performing at the end of the day, and she's going to do the sound bowl healing session. So you know that the sound bowl is operating on musical frequency that helps to sometime work on a person's central nervous system. I've been present when she's done it where people start releasing trauma. Yeah. And then or people experience joy and they're laughing and they get up and they just spontaneously start dancing. So, it's going to be really a great opportunity to come into an environment, especially for people, because sometimes after the winter season, people are looking to do a detox and get themselves. They usually people generally are gain a couple of pounds and looking to shed a couple of pounds safely for the spring and summer. So come on out on Saturday. Like again, I said, it's a beautiful spa located in the West End. I should have the address, but everything is on the flyer. Yes. Yes.
Let's get to this list, Mama Pill. Let's see what this list is talking about.
Oh yeah, deadliest parasites.
Yeah, I want to see this list.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
How do I do this here? Let me see. Share screen, window. Okay, all right. Let me hold up, Mama Pill. Hold up. Okay. All right. So the first one on the list, it says the enemy within 10 human parasites. The first one on the list is the hookworm. Are you familiar with the hookworm, Mama Pill?
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
So with this one, some of the weaknesses that people may experience is some of the symptoms people may experience is weakness, abdominal pain, nausea, diarrhea, and is that an anemia? I hope I don't. What's that word when you get cold? What's that word? How you say that?
Oh yeah, anemia.
Anemia, yeah, anemia.
Yeah, because it starts to affect your whole bloodstream and all the components of your blood, which are your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your platelets, and plasma. Yeah.
These look like some of the monsters you see in the movies or something. Kid
No,
movies and shit.
Brother Rich, do you know another way that people get parasites?
How?
Because they have pet dogs and cats in their house that lick on them and lay all over their furniture, and they kiss. Some people kiss. They
A
kiss
lot.
dogs.
We know
They
who
let
does that. I'm not
I
gonna
know
say no.
they
Yeah,
let dogs lick on their face, lick
yeah.
on their lips, and dogs. Not to I just thought that dogs and cats carry their own specific parasites and worms. So
Mm.
I just wanted to inject that. That's why it's really not healthy to have animals living in a house with you, especially if you have children.
They used to be outside, right? They
Yes,
used to
yes.
be outside.
They used to have a
Nah.
dog house
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and a cat
Shit,
house.
the house is in the bed of the owner now.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. So
yeah.
there, so go on, but that's another way. That's another way
So
people get
so no,
infected because so many people have these animals living in the house. They sleep with them.
number two on the list is scabies mite. Have you heard of that one?
I've heard of them all because
Okay, okay.
like I said, I used to have this. I used to have that article printed out, and I would give it to the clients.
So this one is itching, soreness, some of the symptoms, family, pus filled nodules,
Nodules.
and skin irritation.
Yeah,
The
because
third,
it okay. So that particular parasite lives lives in the lives in the 3 layers of skin, and then
oh, the
um
scabies mite.
yeah, and then there's a 5 layers of connective tissue called fascia that
Mm.
sits below the 3 layers of skin, and so when you get super dehydrated from drinking coffee, not drinking enough water, drinking soda pops, eating a lot of sugary foods, your fascia can get all dried up and get sort of like knotted and tangled like dreadlocks on
Yeah.
somebody's hair, and
Mm.
those are good places for parasites to live.
So somebody said something in the chat. They wrote eczema. I'm scared to hear what you're gonna say about that because I've had a problem a lot in my life with eczema. What's that, man? I'm scared what you're gonna say, Mama Pill. What
So
is that?
eczema is when you are severely dehydrated, and as I said, not only is there 3 layers of skin dehydrated, clogged, but the 5 layer of fascia that I was talking about is all dried up. Fascia is spelled FAS.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's CIA.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to go on YouTube and say what is fascia so they could see. So
Okay.
when your fascia is all dried up, what happens is um, you have a lot of death in your 3 layers of skin, the 5 layers of fascia, and the your whole all your blood vessels like travel through your fascia,
Mm-hmm.
and your nerve fiber travel through your fascia,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see, nerves, blood, and your lymphatic vessels they're all like they call the word is innervate, meaning they all flowing through the fascia. So if
Mm-hmm.
the fascia gets all dried up and starts collapsing on itself and uh, tightening up on itself
Mm-hmm.
and bundling and knotting up on itself, then it gets dry like a dry sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't bend. It's not
Doesn't bend. Right,
flexible.
right, right,
Nothing can move in through it. Your blood vessels getting strangulated. Your
right.
nerves getting strangulated, and you know that your blood carries all your nutrients to all
Yeah.
your cells in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So if if the movement is impeded, then you have certain parts of your body that don't get their nutrition, don't get their oxygen, and the tissue starts dying inside of you. They call that atrophy.
Mm.
Okay. So then it starts showing at the top layer of your skin because you have that much death going on under the surface.
I know I usually get it. I know when I'm gonna get it if I start eating too much bread. If I eat a lot of bread, then my skin do not respond well to me eating a lot of bread.
Now, you know that a lot of people have sensitivity to bread because the wheat that they're using today in order to make bread is a hybrid version of what was once a wild wheat. So they changed the molecular structure of the wheat. I think this was like back in the 1920s or 30s. They started doing like hybriding of the wheat germ back then, so that they could yield a shorter crop that had like more wheat germ on it, wheat berries on it. But then what happened was it had more of a substance called gluten in it than the wild wheat, and the body isn't able to digest this form of gluten, so it winds up really clogging a lot of the part of the digestive the intestinal tract where absorption takes place. The molecules are too big to sort of like pass through like into the bloodstream, so they clog up that whole area, right? So and then you know that they use yeast. They use a yeast in the recipe of making bread, and a lot of people have sensitivity to the yeast. Right.
Let's get back to this list. This is interesting. Wow, this is make sure y'all hit that like button. I mean, come on now, y'all. This is information you could carry on with your family 100 years from now. This is very important, y'all. Very, very important.
Brother Rich, that whole Google stream where you just found that article, when the show is over and you keep scrolling down, you could be studying for the whole month with the source of information that is in that whole stream of parasites. They even like you have to stroll way down on that when you Google it, at the bottom they have an article about the parasites that do mind control in the body. It's more towards the bottom than at the top, because when you first put in the 10 deadliest parasite, that article comes up first, the one we're looking at now.
Okay, let's get to this third one. We're gonna get through it fast, family.
Right.
The next one is roundworm. And some of the symptoms of roundworm is fever, tiredness, allergic rash, vomiting, diarrhea, nerve problems, wheezing, coughing. I know a lot of y'all familiar with that. The roundworm, is that from like the raw sushi, Mama Pill? Is that what that comes from?
You're taking a real chance if you're eating any animal flesh raw. Come on.
That's a whole culture that does that.
Yes.
That's a whole.
Now you heard those symptoms: fever, diarrhea. So that is telling me that the body's immune system is activated in trying to rid the body of the parasites, because fever is a immune response. That's the body heating up to assist the immune system with killing some type of invader that's harmful to the body. And then diarrhea is also part of that too, where it's coming out through that orifice.
So this next one is flatworm blood fluke.
So
they said this one could live in water and penetrate the skin of victims who come into contact with contaminated water. Wow.
Yeah.
This one is
because we got holes all on our skin, our pores, right?
Yeah.
And things can, just like how just how you perspire and the fluid that was inside comes out through and we call that perspiration. It's the same way something can get inside through those little holes.
Good point. Let's get to this next one. This next one is the tapeworm. A lot of people are familiar with that.
Yeah, that one.
Transmitted through infected food, a tapeworm attaches itself to the victim's intestines with hooks on its head. They mature over 3 to 4 months, during which time their reproductive organs develop. Tapeworms can survive up to 25 years. God damn.
And
25 years.
And they can grow that long inside of you.
Shit, they live longer than some brothers on it that be in the hood and in the gangs and shit. God damn, they live a long time. Some of the symptoms is nausea, vomiting, inflammation of the intestine, diarrhea, weight loss, dizziness, fits, malnutrition. Wow, look at that tapeworm.
Because they wind up eating all the nutrition. They wind up eating everything. Remember what I said? The nature of a parasite is to use a human body or an animal's body as a host, so that they're living off of you to live their life. They're living off of you.
Family, this might be the most informative show we've done all year in terms of your health and getting these foreign entities outside of you, family. Don't take this. This is some serious ish right here, y'all. We should all be different after this show. If all of us seeing this, the visuals,
right? And
man,
those
what
of you.
today?
See, I wish you were here in Atlanta, Brother Rich, because you could attend the spiritual makeover retreat this Saturday at the Tikiwa Spa. But you're gonna be returning, so
in 2 weeks.
We're gonna treat you when you come back. We're gonna treat you to a day of that spa treatment.
Yeah. I definitely gotta visit.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Let's get to the next one. Pinworm. I've heard of pinworms.
Yeah,
pinworms are common human parasites. Let me see. They make their home in the host intestines, but unlike many parasites, do not pass into the blood and cannot survive in other parts of the body for any length of the time. They lay their eggs outside the body, usually around the anus. Goddamn, causing itching. This assists in larvae spread.
Yeah, that's the eggs. Yeah.
Okay. And this symptom is irritation and scratch. So what is this, like scratching around your anus? That's what this is?
Yeah, because that's where they tend to like that environment. That part of the body. Do you remember growing up, maybe somebody had ringworms in their scalp?
In the scalp, yeah, definitely remember that.
That was common. That was very common.
But that was hold on. That wasn't pinworms though, right? That's ringworms. You said that's ringworms.
Yeah, but I remember that being, I mean, not very common, but every now and then somebody would have that, and they would have to shave. They would shave the head off.
That was semi-common. Yeah, that was definitely semi-common. All right.
Right.
I don't know how to pronounce this one. Wucheria bancrofti. It says mosquitoes carry this parasite, which they release into the bloodstream of the human host.
When they bite you.
Let me ask you, Mama Pill, real quick about mosquitoes. Yeah. I've heard somewhere that mosquitoes attacks females more than they attack males because of some strange reason. Is that true? Because of some
I don't know that. I don't know that to be a fact.
Okay.
Right. That's something I would have to research. I don't know that to be a fact.
Okay, let's get to this next one. Wow, y'all. The next one is Toxoplasma gondii. This invades the central nervous system. Humans become infected with this organism by eating undercooked meat or by handling infected cat litter. Wow.
Yeah, because people have those cats in the house, and they have that litter box, and that litter box is where the cat defecates and urinates. I mean, that's a fact.
But so, Mom Pill, let me ask you this. So, in the bourgeois class, the rich Negroes, the Negroes 6 figures or 7 figures or better, when they go to the restaurant with them folks, and y'all know who I'm talking about, they gotta order medium rare, or else they're gonna look like a ghetto nigga. Yeah. So they can't. They gotta order it medium rare. So if you are a meat eater, you're doing yourself a disservice by eating medium rare. Yeah, because this is what the rich black folks do, Mama Pill.
Yeah. They also have a dish. I forget what it's called, but a certain demographics of the population that is considered wealthy. It's raw beef, and they have a raw egg in the middle of it. I forgot what it's called.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
Who is that laughing?
I Oh, that might be upstairs or something
That
like
sound
that.
like Blue.
Blue in the background. Blue.
That was him. I recognize his laugh.
Blue, you want me to bring you on, Blue? Blue, good. He just chilling.
Okay.
Yeah, he just chilling in the back.
Yeah.
Let's get to this next one, Mama Pill. Let's get to the next
Now
one.
this is real stuff. I hope the audience don't think you're making this up.
Yeah. So I mean, and so steak tartare. Yeah, I heard of that steak tartare. I heard of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Somebody said mosquitoes love alcohol drinkers. I drink, so oh man, I gotta watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get to the next one. Wow, what an informative show. This is, I don't know how to pronounce that. Giardia lamblia. It lives and produces in the intestine, causing an infection. Am I sharing this? Oh, I'm not even sharing it. Hold up, y'all. Okay,
yeah, the way it looks.
Yeah.
And they look like aliens, these things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why we're talking about aliens, demons, and parasites. I mean, it's like it's crazy.
Right.
Hold up, y'all. Let me read because I want to read this. It lives, it produces an intestine, causing an infection in the small intestine. When it takes up residence in a human gut, it results in inflammation and other damage, reducing the gut's ability to absorb nutrition and causing diarrhea. This parasite is highly resistant to water treatment and is known to exist in drinking water. You don't drink tap water at all, huh, Mama Pill?
No,
you don't mess with that at all.
No. Okay, so fortunately, I have two sources of natural water here. There's a family in Atlanta that has a company called Moon Jug Water.
Blue Pill told me about that. Yeah.
So the family land has a underwater aquifer on it, meaning an underwater river, and the water just gushes up out of the ground, and all they do is bottle it in glass. They only use glass. And then Atlanta has a lot of we know Atlanta, the Appalachian Mountains, that range of mountains run through Georgia. So we have a lot of water coming down off of those mountains. So we have a lot of natural springs here. So there is a natural spring that you could go to at the Indian Creek National Park, and they allow you to bring you have to bring plastic gallons because they don't allow glass, for safety reasons.
Mama Pill, I'm sorry. Keep talking. I forgot my son got my charger. Let me get my computer charger so my computer don't die. But just keep talking. I'll be right back.
So you can go to that park and you can get there. I think they allow 3 gallons of water per person, but you can only fill up the gallons, plastic gallons, because they don't allow glass for safety reasons. So those are my two sources of water currently in Atlanta, because those sources of water are what is classified as living water, meaning the water is alive. And of course it would be free of any kind of plastic contamination, any of the chemicals that sort of leach out of the plastic container when we buy our water from the bottling companies. So I think if anybody's going to be drinking water and you're in a city or a state where you have those type of sources of water, it's worth it to just drink that water. If you're living in a city and you don't have those sources, you have to have a really great water filter on your water pipes to get out all the contaminants.
Mama Pill, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I ran upstairs. I had to get the charger, y'all.
Yeah.
But I drink this sometime. What you think about this water? The black water. You ever seen this?
No.
It's supposed to have the full. Well, it's claimed that that what makes it healthy, according to them, is that it has a blend of fulvic minerals in it.
Right. So that those are minerals from like the volcano.
Volcanoes. Yeah.
Right.
So
that's usually a good source. That's usually a good source of water. Yeah. the village in Honduras that we built, the Usha Healing Village, the reason why that it was such a wonderful place to visit is because Honduras has a lot of what they call thermal water.
Right.
Meaning the water is heated naturally out of the earth. And so it has this heat, a certain heat temperature to it, but it's also rich in a lot of minerals. So it's really excellent to bathe in, to heal all kind of skin conditions, and to really like sort of give you like a charge, like an electrical charge, almost like how you give a car battery a charge. Yeah, works on that principle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next. Let's finish up with these
parasites.
Y'all. The last one on the list is Etamoeba histolytica. Y'all can see the spelling.
You're doing excellent with these pronunciations of these names. You're doing great.
They say this can be found in water, damp environments, and in soil, and contaminate fruits and vegetables. It spreads through fecal contamination. Some of the symptoms are abdominal pain, weight loss, weakness, diarrhea, and liver abscess. All right, so that's the end of that list right there, Mama Pill.
Right. Shoot, that's enough.
Yeah. Wow, that was scary, y'all. Right
now, so that's why the old folks they had a very good discipline with making sure that what we constantly had in our diet was like the wild herbs that would be classified as iron tonics, meaning that the wild herbs that were very high in the mineral called iron. So that would be like here in the South, this time of year, it would be yellow dock. Elderberry grows here. Let's see, yellow dock, red clover. These are all wild plants that are high in iron. So this time of the year, or young dandelion leaves, and the little yellow dandelion tops, they would take that and make like a wine and a tonic out of it. But they did this like constantly, regularly, all the time, so that your blood is always healthy. Your blood is always producing all the right numbers of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. The plasma is always clean and clear. Okay. So when you have healthy blood, these entities can't live in healthy oxygenated blood. It's almost like the blood works like a detergent. The oxygen works like a detergent, and these things can't live in that kind of environment.
Yeah, I swear I love your analogies. Say you said the blood and the oxygen act like a detergent.
Yes, in the body. Yes, yeah. So you know that when we have water and detergent, you put fabric in water and detergent. If it has any kind of soil or dirt in it, it's gonna come out.
Right. Excellent analogy. Yeah. I want to first of all, let's get these likes up, family. We got about 1,400 people in the chat.
What?
Yeah, we got about 1,400 people. Wow. They tune in for you, Mama Pill. They tuning in.
Wow. You guys need to come to Atlanta on Saturday, guys. Come on.
Let's
or how about this? Let's say you can't come to Atlanta, and whatever city you're in, Mama Pill would be happy to come to that city and do this type of event in your city. So just what they say, when people inbox you, what do they call that on Instagram? DM me, right? DM me, and I'll be glad to come.
Yeah, DM Mama Pill. She'll be glad to come to the city and do what she do. You know what I'm saying? Let's we're gonna get to some Q&A. Let's get Blue Pill in here with us to close out with the Q&A. Blue Pill been back here supporting Mama Pill, making sure everything go right with the stream. Blue Pill, that was an interesting conversation we just had. Presentation, going through the parasites and everything. I don't think that the family gonna be the same after that, Blue.
Hey, I'm thinking about this Mexican food I just ate.
Blue.
See, because listen, when you see, the thing is, when you eat in these ethnic restaurants, you must know that culturally the Mexicans are heavy into pork. They are heavy into pork. They are not like our people, where we have a huge population of our people who got influenced by the Nation of Islam, and they stopped eating pork. Even if they're not Muslims, they stopped eating pork because of that influence in our culture, starting in the 1920s with Elijah Muhammad. Okay, so not the Mexicans. So let's say, they're using the same pots. When they're grilling stuff and making your burrito, right? They using the same grill
The
surface.
same grill. Yeah, the same grill.
Yes.
And granted, that's why it would always be specified. People would ask, "Are you making my vegetables on the same grill that you?" And people would be like, "Oh, you could just scrape it." And when we're talking about microscopic parasites, scraping the grill is not enough. You know what I'm saying?
And
A lot of that stuff.
They're gonna tell you anything. They're not. They think you're crazy to be asking them that in the first place.
Yeah, they do. But we always need this refresher because, life will. We do things that are convenient sometimes, even if we're quote unquote health conscious. Right. We really don't understand that the parameters of coming in contact with parasites. It's just, if you might escape this, but you got hit over here.
Right. It just takes one time.
Of what you're eating, but not with how you bathing. You know what I'm saying? And the filters, a lot of the filters might be, situated to get chlorine out, but not necessarily fluoride, and definitely not parasites. So
because they're so microscopic in their size
and plentiful.
Yes.
And now we're not going to mention, but there's a documentary going around about, other things that's in the water. So water's a major issue. And again, skin is the largest organ that we have, is porous, and we are always, absorbing and taking in water. So we just got to be mindful. I think that it's just a key thing if we was to implement seasonal cleanses, just because, if we just made that part of our
culture,
again,
bringing it back.
Because we did it at one time.
Yeah. Are you sure the event's Sunday or Saturday? Because you keep saying
Saturday.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
Okay.
I can put it on.
It goes into Sunday for those people who wish to spend the night after the sound bowl therapy.
I got it. Okay.
Yes. Oh, there it is.
It says it's a little confusing. It says 4:30 to 5/1. So the 30th to the first. So okay.
Over. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's going to end with the sound bowl therapy. And remember what I was saying, Brother Rich, how the sound bowl frequency affects people. Right. So some people can't just get up and walk out. Yeah. If it affects them a certain way, they need to be able to stay.
Okay, that's gonna be popping, y'all. That is gonna be popping.
Yes.
Let's get to some Q&A real quick from the family. Let's get to some Q&A. What y'all got to ask Mama Pill, man? We talking about being possessed by parasites, like people give, just like the demons. They telling you to do all types of,
just like in the Alien.
Yes, and if somebody even bought a Poltergeist, the movie Poltergeist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. When y'all finish, I want to touch on something about that when you get a chance.
Okay.
And I used to be, the analogy king. I have to relinquish the title. She's the analogy queen mother. So now you see where I get my analogy training.
They want to know what type of cleanses are recommended after all this being said. What you recommend, Mama Pill?
Okay. As I said, we have to bring back, as Paul mentioned, we have to bring back. See, it's not like we don't have to start from the beginning, right? What we have to do is like go back and bring forward some of those cultural things that we did culturally as a people. And that is, you have to do seasonal cleanse. You have to. So that means you have to do a blood tonic once every season. You have to. You have to. Yeah, you have to do bitters. Let me just inject this. Do you know that other cultures keep the bitter principle in their daily dietary regimen every day?
I didn't know that. No.
The Asians and the Indians from India, they have something called bitter cucumber. It's green. When you go in the market, it's fresh. It's green and it has, the skin is bumpy.
Bitter melon, is that the same as bitter melon? Or
no, they're two different things. But the Asians and the Asians and the Indians, they slice that up and they eat that. They eat that as a vegetable in their dietary regimen weekly. So I'm just saying that some cultures have never removed the bitter principle out of their dietary regimen. We have. And we're all yanged out on salt and sugar in terms of our taste buds, when other people are not. Because, you know, I often wonder why a lot of these other cultures, like if you look at the Asian menu, what they eat, you be like, wow. But let me tell you why they can do it. Because the Asians still have in their culture spas that they built based on Korea and their ancestral way. When they come over here, they build these spas, Brother Rich, and guess what they do every morning? They're in there in the sauna, they're in the steam room, they're getting body massage, they're going into the hot sauna, the hot whirlpool, then they're coming out and jumping into the cold pool, and they do that back and forth for like 12 times. So what they're doing when they do that is because the blood vessels and the lymphatic vessels are they're tubes, they're long tubes running throughout your body. So when you go in the hot sauna, those vessels expand. When you go in a cold pool, they contract. So whatever fluid is in there is pushing it through the body. Let me tell you something. I'm in the locker room with these women, and you have to be naked, right? Asian women do not have cellulite.
Think about that.
They do not have discoloration of their skin.
Think about
When you see them nude, their body complexion is one shade. They don't have no blemishes or any of that. Unlike the sisters, when they come in there, I'm telling you, they have gotten to the point where some of them look like Snuffleupagus.
Whoo, man, Mama Pill. That's
I'm telling you.
Mama Pill. Oh man. Snuffleupagus.
Y'all know
wow.
They look like elephants.
Damn.
All right. So I'm saying that a lot of cultures have cultural, ancestral practices in their daily life so that they can, them Asians can eat all kind of meat because it ain't gonna be staying stuck.
Because it ain't gonna stay long. Yeah, it ain't staying there long.
It's gonna be, and then you go to their spas. They have the guy that does the reflexology on your feet. Then they do the deep tissue massage, so nothing stays stuck inside. Everything is moving. The life force energy in those people are moving all the time. That's why when they're out there in the business world and you come walking in their store with a demon on you, they see it and they shut it down.
Man, I wish I had a bomb. You know how Red Pill got the bombs? I ain't got no bombs, man. I ain't got the bomb I can drop for Mama Pill.
Think about it. Do you see Koreans with bad skin?
No.
I said, have you seen a Korean ladies with bad skin?
Never. And like I said,
man, they killing our people, man. They killing our people, man.
I first started going to Korean spas, it wasn't until recently I have seen our people open up spas. So I first started by going to the Korean spas. I've been going for over 10 years now, right? Where and let me tell you how deep they are. When you're in the woman's locker room, right, and you're nude, Korean women bathe Korean women. Like when you could sit on the stool, and they have these little areas where they have like the shower head, where you could sit on the stool and you could soap up and spray yourself, wash your hair and everything. And you can't get to your back. So they wash each other's back. So you could be in the woman's locker room, and there's a 4-year-old girl, the mother and the grandmother, and they're all doing that for each other.
Totally different culture.
So their whole way of life is so that's hydrotherapy. That's water therapy that they do every day.
Is that I seen somebody roll dry brushing? Is that
yeah.
yeah.
So you know how you see, this is another analogy. You know how you see those $1 million stallions that run races? What do you see them doing to the coat?
Brushing them.
Yes.
Brushing them.
Yes.
Brushing them.
Yes. Yeah. So that brush, it's like
stimulating. It's like
because the lymphatic system has to be moved by methods that are external, because there's no pump. Like the heart is the pump that pumps the blood all around the body. The lymphatic system doesn't have that. So that's why you have to do exercise. You have to move. You have to do healthy movement.
That's why they out there doing Tai Chi and moving.
Yes.
On the daily,
in the morning.
Early in the
morning. Yep.
Getting their day together.
That's why they do Qigong, Tai Chi. They out there 5 a.m. when that early morning light is coming up, that red and orange and yellow sun rays are coming out. They're out there absorbing it. Infrared,
like KT, teaches. So think about it. And as emotional as this may be, right? Because I witnessed it here, and then when I moved to the West Coast, I witnessed it.
Yes.
And they open at 10 a.m. ready to take all your money, right?
Yes.
And it's very hard to pull a fast one on them, because they've been up since 5, getting ready, getting charged up, tapped in with Creator, knowing they know you got up at 9, right? And you stumbling in with your shower cap on, and they taking you.
What you think about Mama Pill? What you think about I was talking with this excellent brother with health, Yaki, and he was reminding me about rebounding, and I heard about it.
Oh yeah, that's excellent.
That's like
So rebounding is cool because it's a trampoline, right?
Yeah.
So the way the lymphatic vessels work is that they have these levers on them that move like this. So when you jumping up and down, those levers opened up and the fluid moves. So that's why jumping rope was so good.
From back, Remember the sisters, the double dutch? The sisters had the double dutch and all that?
Or how about what's that guy's name who's never been defeated as a boxer?
Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah, he jumps rope.
A lot. Yeah, boxers do that, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
There's nothing inside of his internal body that's stagnant and clogged. Everything is moving.
Right. Even if he eats McDonald's.
That's why
he's still moving.
That's why he wins all the time.
Man.
The rebounder is excellent. It's excellent. It is excellent. I'll put it up on Instagram. The brand that I recommend, it begins with a B. I forget. But let me tell you, that's one of the best investments you can do, because in the wintertime, when you're in the temperate region, in the wintertime and the temperatures start getting very Arctic and you don't want to go outside and walk and maybe, do your Qigong or your breathing, you could be in your house and you could still stay in shape by rebounding inside your house.
I get on it every day. After talking to the brother, I bought one. I get on it every day. It's helped my skin, my energy levels, all of that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because it's improving your
So
circulation in
yeah.
your body of all your body fluids, your cerebral spinal fluid, your lymphatic fluid, your blood. Excellent.
Let's get to another question because they going off in chat. Family, this is definitely a top 10 contender for shows this year, family. This is packed with information, y'all, to save your life.
Yeah.
To save your life. Oh
And
my God.
they don't have to take our word for it. When they hang up, they can stay up till 2:00 in the morning on their phone and on their computer and do all the research.
Definitely. Let's get. I just seen this is important. And Mom Pill, thank you. You helped my queen when she was pregnant, you and KT with advice. So I want to thank you for that. Can't thank you enough. Aaliyah Bay wants to know what fast or cleansing can nursing moms do?
Good question.
Yes.
A nursing mom?
Yes.
Fast? Is that what she asked me?
Nursing is when you
She said what fast or cleansing routine can a nursing
okay. So if she's nursing, when you're nursing, you can't necessarily take bitter herbs. You can't do the bitter herbs, right? Because everything you take in makes up the milk, and the baby tastes bitter. The baby will not drink that milk, and you'll have a problem. So for a nursing mom, it's recommended that she does juicing, a lot of juicing. You know, the green leafy juice. She has to do a lot of juicing because the juicing is really what's going to help keep her blood healthy, keep her mineralized, because it's important that a woman who's nursing, for instance, I would recommend the Green Leaf Herbal Solution CMOS Plus because of all of the minerals in it. And they're really, like, CMOS is really full spectrum when it comes to all the minerals that are in it. It almost has everything in it except iron. It doesn't have iron because the mineral iron is not found in the ocean. It's only comes out of the soil of the earth. But all the other minerals come out of the ocean, right? So I would recommend CMOS Plus. I would recommend that she be on all the green leafy vegetables that are high in iron. So that's like the dandelion, the watercress, the red clover. And if she has a good farmer's market in the city that she lives, she will be able to find these things. There's a wild spinach called Marabar. It just depends on where she lives, because almost every city now has a local farmers market, and you'll have some conscious farming family that'll have all these wild greens. Cilantro.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I see Blue got the gold water.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then yeah, but that's for a mother who's nursing. She needs all the minerals, not just a single mineral. She needs everything, because remember, she's producing milk that's utilizing all the nutrients and nutritious elements in her body. She's giving it to this new child that now is growing. So she has to be replenishing it in her body to consistently lactate good, healthy milk, and to replenish her own body. So that she doesn't go into, depression.
Before we continue, family, make sure you support shows like this for, God, it don't get no better than this. What today is Monday, on a Monday night? Hit a Brother Rich Cash App, family, $ Black Magic 363. Mama Pill, do you have a Cash App?
I don't, Brother Rich.
Oh, Mama Pill. Blue, you got to get Mama Pill a Cash App, Blue Pillar. Come on, Blue
But
Pillar.
Brother Rich, they can support me. Brother Rich, I have my online store.
Yeah, exactly. What's the website? Tell them they gonna bombard your store.
All right,
the
website is the same website I've had over the last decade. It's greenleaf-herbs.com. 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 So I have many of the tonics available on the online store. And if anybody's in Atlanta, my products are sold exclusively at another spa called the Zen Bar Spa at 553 Joseph Laurie Boulevard in the West End. So they can go to that location and purchase the Greenleaf Herbal Solution tonics.
Right. Shout out to New Site for the donation. Let's get.
I did see a question. You got more questions? I saw one that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, Blue. Yeah.
A question earlier they asked. They said, what does cellulite have to do with fascia?
Okay, so for a long time, I was trying to figure out what is cellulite. So recently, what I read was that cellulite is actually inflamed lymphatic vessels. It's not what people thought it was in terms of it just being fat. It's the lymphatic vessels being inflamed. So, and it's also the fascia being dehydrated. So that's why the whole knowledge of this 5-layer of connective tissue that sits below the 3 layers of skin is so important for us to now comprehend. I'm going to be talking about that on Saturday. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's why I said when you look at Korean women nude in the women's locker room at all the spas I've ever been, none of them have cellulite. None. And how is that?
I got a real important question. Maybe this is tied into that, Mama Pill. Somebody wants to know, how do you treat sugar addiction? It's a big problem in our community. Before you say that, I seen this clip last year. There was this clip that going viral of this black lady making yams. She had a big bag of sugar. You see that, Blue? And she was just like, yo, I was like, that looks so disgusting.
I shared it. She was from Philly, and her people hit me up, and they was like, don't judge her. You know, you should talk to her instead. I was like, I just posted the video. She dumping dominoes in that joint like it's running out of style. And I'm like, she got triple elbows. What you think that's about?
The bag was this big.
She helps the community. I'm like, for real? She's spiking the diabetes count in that community, but she's helping.
I know.
Because she's giving poison away. It's like,
all right. So listen,
sugar.
I used to have a serious sugar addiction. Like I started working on it successfully in 1981 when I met Sabi. I was still addicted to sugar, and you know, Sabi used to be talking and teaching all the time, and he addressed those things. Like he used to say how we have the nerve to talk about our brothers and sisters in our community that are addicted to heroin, when we're addicted to white sugar, and that's a drug just like heroin, and it's just as detrimental, but it's a slower process. And I was like, what did he say? I had never heard that before. And then until I decided I was going to stop using it, and then I saw how addicted I was. Yeah.
Fact.
But we can wean ourselves off of all drugs, whether it be a food drug or a pharmaceutical drug. You can wean yourself off. It's a process. But when you wean yourself, you have to comprehend that all these things break down to chemicals in the body, and they really break down to molecules. So when you are working on weaning yourself from these chemical molecules, you have to flush them out of the body, because if they're lodged anywhere in the body and they start recirculating in the bloodstream, you're going to start craving again. Yeah. So that's why it's important that you're constantly cleaning your blood. You're constantly taking the bitters, because you have to make sure all your filtering organs are not holding these molecules. Your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your adrenals, they have to be constantly cleansed of these molecules. And then you can successfully wean off of these addictive chemicals. You can do it. It's been done. Millions of people have successfully done it, including myself, because my palate now for sweet is very balanced. Like, if I'm drinking something and it's super sugary sweet, I'm like, oh my goodness, no. Or if I drink something, like, there's a brother in the community here in Atlanta, he makes these wonderful herbal drinks, and I was at an event, and he serves them, right? You know, he serves them so you could have like a taste tester. So when he was standing there telling us it was about 15 herbs in the drink, and I was saying, oh, that's going to taste horrible. But when I tasted it, it tastes good, but it was sweet. And I said to myself, there's only one source of sweetness that tastes like this, and it's sugar. So I'm going to ask him what he's sweetening with, because I know it's sugar. So I asked him, and he said organic brown sugar. But I'm still saying it's I know when I'm tasting sugar cane.
Yeah.
Whether it's processed white or whether they don't bleach it and it's still brown, it's still sugar cane. I know sugar cane when I taste it.
What you think about the sugar from fruits, Mama Pill?
Oh, that's totally different.
Totally different.
That's totally different. Yeah. Sugar, what they call sugar from fruits is first of all, when you eat it, it's slow, it has a slow metabolism. It slowly metabolizes in the body. It's not like processed sugar where you get a rush.
Rush. Yeah. It's not like that.
And then you drop.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't work like that.
Right,
chemically, the way it's structured chemically, as far as its molecular structure, the way it breaks down in this process, it's like this. It's like this. It's no peak and then dips.
Is sugar really one molecule away from being cocaine? I heard a couple of people say that.
Some people say that. It's like people say nutritional yeast is one molecule away from being monosodium glutamate. I mean, when you know the biochemistry,
soy is one molecule away from plastic.
From plastic.
Yeah.
We dropping some gems tonight, y'all.
So let me say this one last thing too about what's happening on the inside of people. So we're looking at these people out here in the street, and we're seeing them do all of these diabolical, horrific things, and we're wondering, wow, the person looks like a person, but how could somebody do something like that? What's going on inside? I remember hearing Blue say how people are plastic. They're plastic on the inside, right? And that's literally true, because the food industry, when they first created supermarkets, right, they were making homemade products that had a shorter shelf life when people were making them at home out of the kitchen. But when they decided they were going to try shelving these items in a supermarket where people could come, what they found out, especially let's just say crackers, for instance, right, and bread, they found out when they would create a recipe, generally they got from some woman, right, who was doing it for decades at home. When they industrialized it, they would make a cracker, put it in a box. What they found out is that the cracker would start decomposing, and then worms and all those kind of things would be in the product. And they couldn't have that, maggots and all this kind of stuff, right? Because the thing would start breaking down. What they found out is if they raised the temperature of the oil, whatever oil they were using in the recipe, that 500 degrees or higher would turn the oil into what would be equivalent to plastic. And then the cracker could sit on the shelf for a whole year without breaking down and creating bugs and all that kind of stuff, right? So you eat that, right? And if you understand anatomy and physiology and how the body regrows itself, you know that you have something called membrane on the inside of your body. That's just internal skin. That's like what coats all the linings of your blood vessels, your lymphatic vessels, the walls of your colon. That's skin. That's called membrane. Guess what it uses in order to sort of regrow itself?
What?
Fats. Like they call it lipids, right? So if you're putting in plastic fat, the body's going to use that to make your membranes.
Wow.
It's gonna use that to make it's gonna use that to make the walls of your cells. So your cell winds up being like a Ziploc bag. So nothing can get in and nothing can get out.
Yo, Jesus Christ. Wow. Woo, what a show.
Like Paul was saying, these people are walking around and they're plasticized on the inside.
Literally.
Yeah. And they use a lot of
damn, Blue, you wasn't joking, huh?
Yeah.
No. Literally.
Right. So when you go to a lot of these fast food restaurants and they have these shakes for $1.99, right? And a lot of it is some kind of ice cream. They also use a substance that's very similar to almost being plastic in ice cream. That's why you have that smooth kind of velvety feeling when you put it when you slurp it down, or even when you buy certain brands of ice cream, because it's literally like Blue said, a molecule or two away from being classified as a plastic.
Right. And people are responding in the chat. Why are they finding microplastic in people's blood plasma? They're finding microplastic. They said they find more in babies than adults.
Yeah, because first of all, the baby is getting it from the formula.
Wait. Don't say that word. We know that word. We got to keep this show. You know what I'm talking about? That V word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
I don't want them to snatch this video. This is fire.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah.
But no, the plastic micro pieces of plastic is a problem now because it has contaminated our food chain. Okay, the majority of sea salt in the world today has the little microplastic fibers in it. Your friend Hans did a research, Blue, and he was saying that one of the only sea salts that are not contaminated with plastic, and this is some research, is the salt coming from he gets a brand coming from, I believe it's either Italy or France, because of the waters are purely pristine and clean and free of plastic contamination. So the plastic is even in the salts now.
So what, the pink Himalayan salt that we buy, it's in that? So what do you recommend we use?
Yeah, well, you have to know the brands that are not contaminated with plastic. So Blue has a friend that, he's like Blue and them. He's just into this research, really into it. And he and I talk occasionally, and he'll bring me up to date with research. So he was telling me that a couple of months ago, he gets the salt from me from I believe it's France. Yeah, he's a brother. I'll put you in contact with him. He's somebody that you may be interested in having on your program, because he is like really informed about many things that are going on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Somebody asked about Celtic salt.
Well, the thing is,
Celtic or Celtic, or am I saying it right?
It's like where are they getting the salt from? Like, what ocean water is the salt coming? That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the next question. Let's see. Y'all got any more questions in the chat?
Yeah, I grabbed some.
Yeah, go ahead, Blue. Go ahead, Blue.
This is a biggie. And
What?
this, particular community at this particular time. Again, because I always say their quote unquote trick is to control the narrative. So you have populations that speak to one another, and melanated people are in between thinking that they getting spoken to, right? So they always running with somebody else's trend, thinking that it's specific
for
for their
us,
biology, and it's not.
right? But
So
they're gene
everybody's
pool.
talking about kombucha and fermented foods for probiotics. Somebody asked, what was your thoughts on that? I have my own thoughts, but what's your thoughts on that?
Good question.
Okay. So, all right. So, like you said, a lot of information is for gene type, right? It's not for everybody. So, a lot of the people who are talking about these probiotics are Caucasians, and ancestrally they have foods within their culture that they take in for these digestive aids, right? Like Caucasians, they're very big on sauerkraut, right? But that's a food that really comes out of Europe. Like that's not anything that our ancestors ate, because all they had to do is get their prebiotic from coconut. Yeah. Yeah, the coconut. The coconut is where they basically got all that material they needed in order to help the bacterial flora thrive in the gut.
Yes.
Because there's a brother here in Atlanta. He makes a coconut prebiotic. So he takes the coconut water and he takes it to a slight fermentation. And I know all my clients that I included that in the herbal recommendations I gave them. Like with my herbal tonics, I would include that tonic that he made in with the protocol. They loved it. Loved it.
They did.
Yes.
What about also, while we're there, let's talk about ACV, right? Was the vinegar thing.
Oh, apple cider vinegar?
Yeah. Because again, Black folks love eavesdropping on other people's conversation and thinking it is specific to them, right? Because of marketing and Americanism. So can you speak to apple cider vinegar? KT already did an amazing job.
Yeah, he did. His
decimating
I'm sure his video is going to be out probably in another couple of weeks. That was
he did one on Brother Rich show like 3 years ago. And people are still talking about it. They still talking about apple cider vinegar because they listening to other people. And I'm like, let me put this on the record real quick before you continue. Because it be all of these cross conversations in this community, right, about Sabi, even outside of this community, about the validity of the work. And my whole thing is, why is the conversation never shifting to the post Sabi, right? The just look at his children alone. Like, we don't even got to put ourselves in the conversation, but the healing that's taking place from the people that are directly connected to him, right? Is something that can't be disputed, right? Nothing that they're utilizing don't work. It's specific to our people because his premise was about Afro-biomineral balance, specific to our gene type. What are these people talking about? And why they not talking up to the people that can actually answer? Why are you talking to somebody that's no longer here? Right? But the healing family, the thing continues, right?
So some of that is this, Blue, is that everybody who is melanated is not identifying with really being genetically melanated. They're expressing their genealogy because perhaps somebody was Caucasian a couple of generations ago and they're relating to that.
Right. There are hybridized.
So that's why they want their apple cider vinegar, because their great granddaddy was a Caucasian from Ireland. That's what they're expressing.
Well. But is it, you know, what does the constant use of vinegar do to somebody's anatomy, their physiology?
I don't know. I didn't utilize it. I don't remember anybody giving me apple cider vinegar growing up. And definitely that wasn't part of the protocol when I did my apprenticeship with Sabi. I mean, it was just nothing that he never used it for anything. And when people asked him about it, he says, no, no, you don't. We're not recommending that. You can discontinue the apple cider vinegar. I mean, he just didn't use it.
You see any more questions?
Not, apple cider vinegar recommendation ain't what got us arrested and indicted.
Yeah, somebody asked, was the office in the same location as the Barclays, and the downstairs was the colonic spot, but
there was a colonic spot next door.
Had nothing to do with the practices that was taking place upstairs, because they don't recommend colonic. Yeah.
No, we were on the second floor loft.
Right.
We were at 616 Pacific Street.
Right.
The colonic office was on Flatbush.
Right. So if you're familiar with the Barclay Center family, where the Rockaway store used to be, where the store used to be, that's directly on top.
That's where we were.
Where they was at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
okay. Let's get to 3 more questions, and then we're gonna get out of here, family. This is something big that people ask a lot about. Damn, I just had it. Well, they ask about weed. Is weed good to smoke, or is it better to
so listen, that
edibles
listen, the brother that I just mentioned a little while ago, this Paul's friend, brother Hans, in the 90s, I believe Paul brought him here to Atlanta to my house. And he was telling me that how when he was in college, he's the one who first told me about tilapia not being a wild fish, but genetically made. Because he had a friend, I think the father was from Africa, and he had started a fish farm in Africa where they were growing tilapia. And he wanted his son to come back to Africa, and the son was Hans' friends, and he was saying, yeah, come with me. This is a whole new industry that's opening up with this fish called tilapia, right? But, you know, he didn't do it. But what he also used to do in college is he was in on growing marijuana, right? So he's the one who told me the process of how they created that plant, because cannabis is one plant, and marijuana is different than cannabis. So cannabis is what the creator created. That's what grows wild in the jungles, right? Marijuana is a hybrid of cannabis. So he was telling me that ultimately what they were doing to the male and the female plant is that, you know, because, you know, with the male and the female plant, and I don't know the way he does, that's why he's someone you should have on the program. There's a certain cross-pollination that happens with the male and the female plant when they're growing the plant, or when the plant is growing in nature. And what they've been doing by genetically altering the plant is the male is no longer pollinating the female plant. So the plant the plant stays in what's considered a horny state, right? Which never gets sort of chemically satisfied. And this is the weed that they have everybody smoking. And it has a certain effect on the male and has a certain effect on the female. But he really goes deep into the science of it.
Man, I guess Wesley Muhammad might have been right about the pot plot.
Yeah, it is a pot plot. It is a pot plot, but this brother knows what it is. Like, he told it to me, and I was just like, what? So but then I watched this, and this he told me this in the 90s, but then I watched the whole evolution of the marijuana becoming legal and the dispensaries and all the different varieties. And I'm saying, wow. And when I went to LA a couple of years ago, everybody was smoking in the street. And then people were telling me how I could go to a doctor, tell them I was in pain so that I could get a free prescription to get free marijuana. And everybody was just smoked out in California.
Yeah, they're very sedated. And anybody does not know that the weed that they sell nowadays is only the feminine strand, you should stop smoking. You have no business intaking in something that you do not understand. And the chemical makeup of it, you know, the Zaza and everything that is being distributed and sold to the population, that's not because they love using Sabi. That's not the weed that Sabi smoked.
That's not what
that's
he
not
was
the
smoking.
weed that Bob Marley smoked. That's not the weed that we were smoking in the 80s or the late 90s when
they were smoking cannabis.
Yeah, and chocolate Thai and all of that stuff. That's not the Zaza. So, you know, they replaced it. I put an article up on 420 and they said that medical marijuana is 9 times addictive, right? It does not treat anxiety, depression. It spikes those things. There's no medicine in it, right? They take all of the CBD out and they spike the THC, which is the psychoactive principles in it, and it's highly addictive to children. So if we was exposed to marijuana or cannabis when we was 12, 13, or 14, and we could still, you know, manage and maintain our high, imagine you smoking rapper weed now getting knocked out off of 3 or 4. So I can't get past 4 pulls. What you think a 13-year-old, right? Who is hearing this on the radio all day, every day, his peers is popping pill and drinking lean, so he's late to the party if he's just smoking weed. So they smoking weed now at the age of 11 because they got pill. Look, they got pill houses around the corner from you where the children are taking lean at the age of 12, right, and popping pills. So how old you think children are smoking weed now? They smoking weed at the age of like 9 and 10. But you smoking Zaza, you smoking rapper weed. So it's super addictive.
Yes.
So if we grew up during a time when they told us, oh, weed is not a gateway drug,
right?
By mere peer pressure today, weed is the gateway because it's the beginning of a particular, you know, a journey that you're going to go on of experimentation, just to have these buttons on you to be around people that's like you can't be around if you're not sipping.
Crazy, man.
Let me get some water.
Hey,
after all of that.
We're going to get to the last question, Mama Pill. It's sort of a double question, and it's a common question I'm sure you hear a lot. Why are fibroids so common with Black women, and how do you shrink them? Seems to be, you know, I heard people say the perms. I've heard a lot of things, but it seems to be real common with the sisters, these fibroids. So why is that? How do they start to shrink them, Mama Pill?
All right. So on Saturday, I'm going to be addressing what's not being spoken about so much with our sisters and the females, and that is a lot of what's happening with our women in terms of their current state of dysfunction has to do with reoccurring trauma. Generally, when someone is dealing with disease, the origin of it, some of it is nutritional, but in our community today, it's like a cyclical pattern of reoccurring trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma that's not being healed. It's not being healed. You see? So the body is stressed, you know, almost beyond breaking point. Because this reoccurring trauma she keeps experiencing, and it's not being healed. So the wound gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and people are saying, oh, she's just an angry Black woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what's happening internally, and a lot of it stems from the whole birthing cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening to them, because a lot of the women today, they're not having vaginal births anymore. They're being cut right across, what is it, like a horizontal cut? And so they're not really healing properly from that open cut, right? Even though they get stitched up and it closes. When we're understanding like meridian lines in the body, a lot of times when women get cut for cesareans, or they get cut what they call an episiotomy, where they get cut vaginally, so that the vaginal space opens to pull the baby out, women never heal from that. And that is a trauma to the body, because it wasn't supposed to happen in the first place. And it interferes with how the energy moves throughout the body, because it creates scar tissue, which block energy flow. So a lot of times when these women are acting out the way they're acting out, it's not the man, it's not, they're projecting on another person, but it's all what's going on inside. It has nothing to do with their man. It has nothing to do with a friend. It has everything to do with the energy not moving inside. You see what I'm saying? So they're all short-circuited and wounded.
Right. Let me veggie back off of that, because I can compound my next comment into that. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
That trauma. We're speaking about C-sections, right? They're cutting the woman and they're pulling the child out, so the child is not getting crowned by going through the vaginal canal and receiving microbiomes. Now, when we talk about mental health, because we've had a few episodes on this particular channel, I want people to understand that aspect as well deals with parasites, because now the parasites are in the gut, right? The gut is stripped of the microbiomes, right? And then then the parasites
it doesn't get passed from the mother to the baby.
Right. It's not getting passed from the mother to the baby. The colostrum fluid is not getting passed from the mother to the baby, because the mother got plastic in the boobs. She's getting boob jobs, or, Lord knows without the cultural dynamics to not promote breastfeeding as much. They put in bottles, they put plastic bottles, gender bending chemicals in the bottles in the baby's mouths. You know what I'm saying? The baby got a diet of plastic its entire life, and then after 7 years, you become what you eat. So from these years of 0 to 7, you're on formula. From 7 to 14, you're on hot chips. You know what I'm saying? From 14
no
to
real food. Never anything real.
Right? And now from 21 to 28, you smoking Zaza and popping pills. And now you walking around talking to yourself, right? And your brain is just not there. And you like, damn, this person looks healthy, but they're totally not there in their mind. Now the parasites have made it into the brain. They're affecting the gut, right? Everything that this person is on, right, is an expression of the internal waters going on inside of them. You know what I mean? And they're totally being driven by these microscopic organisms, you feel me, that are super duper conscious. Right?
Because everything,
yeah, let's
listen, everything that is alive is striving to stay alive.
Stay alive, right? Except for us, right? We on a crash course attempting to kill ourselves every chance we get. And I'm speaking as somebody who flirted with death for like 30 years of their life, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? We was damn near we was just throwing ourselves at it, right? So and I was highly influenced by my parasites during that time. Because I remember I could not go to sleep without drinking a quart of milk and drinking chocolate chip cookies, preferably after 1:30 in the morning. Now, that wasn't my diet.
That was their diet. That was their diet.
That was their diet. Mom, remember they used to have, it was these 50-cent tall flavored drinks. I had to have those, or I couldn't take it to sleep. At one point I had to smoke Black and Milds to trigger my digestion. Right, that's the tobacco, or it wouldn't work.
Goodness.
My food would just sit there. So I'm speaking as somebody who was there. I was not in my right mind. It was not indicative of my upbringing, right? And all of this happened when I started eating meat, but eating meat in the way in which was savage.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I know what mental health and mental illness looks like. You know what I'm saying? I can identify it when I see it. And I know because of the sedentary nature of what happened in 2020 and beyond, people were sitting there, they were eating, and they were looking at TV, right? They were totally being taken over by their parasites, and they were entertaining fear and anxiety, which is all energetic food for these parasites to get stronger and stronger and longer and longer. And they're smart. They know when to catch you when you low, right? They say when you go low, we go high.
Yeah.
So this mental health issue that we're seeing, because people, again, they're not explaining the brain gut axis, right? They're not explaining that we have more neurons in our stomach than we actually have in our brain. So the parasite infestation is taking place primarily in the intestines, is infecting our neurological state of being. Hence the fact that we always explain this, and you said it as well, about the nightmares. It's the same thing when you take quote unquote psychedelics, because the psychedelics are being activated inside of the gut. The neurons in the guts is what's being affected. So if you have parasites in your gut, you're gonna have trips where you like, yo, I seen snakes, I seen dragons, I seen they was 400 feet. Those are all projections, holographic projections of this internal thing that's going on inside of you. And as well, it's worth noting that we mentioned wormwoods in the Bible. Like, all of this stuff was talked about. So even in biblical times, when they spoke about prophecies for now, they said specifically they was talking about wormwood. They were speaking about the parasitical infestation. Hence the fact that worms, parasites, and serpents are all from the same genome, right? When they speak about serpents in the Bible, they're really speaking about worms. Okay, and when they're speaking about worms, they're really speaking about parasites. This stuff is nothing new. Yeah, and when they talk about the serpents that were wise because of their age, no, there's nothing older than the worms and the parasites. They're the most ancient, not the serpents, not the serpents that we, not the snakes. Again, they don't understand that it's a misinterpretation. The transliteration is off.
Yeah.
They're speaking about worms and they're speaking about parasites. Trust me on it, right?
Man.
Stop serpent shaming out there.
Wow. Hey, leave your contact information before we get out of here. This is it right here, family. It don't get no better than this. Tonight's show was absolutely fire.
Yes.
Absolutely fire.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Mama Pill. Leave your contact info for the family. And once again, let them know about this weekend.
Okay. So the online store is greenleaf-herbs.com. My phone number contact is 914-486-2476. And the spiritual makeover event is this Saturday, August 30th through Sunday, May 1st. April.
30th.
What did I say? August? I'm already in August.
Yeah, you're in the future. It's okay.
Yes. You can go to America, spelled with a K, Sutton, her Instagram, and the link is there for the purchase of the tickets on Eventbrite. And you can follow me on Instagram at Greenleaf Herbs.
Yeah. at Greenleaf Herbs on Instagram, right?
No.
Greenleaf-herbs.com is her website, right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna be running Twitter with Elon Musk, y'all. So y'all ain't gonna see me for a while. You know, $44 billion acquisition. I orchestrated that. I was in the background, making that happen. So yeah, I'm about to go to be on the board of Twitter for a minute. Y'all hold it down. Y'all hold it
down. I hear you, Blue.
Congratulations, Blue.
Congrats, my brother.
Yeah, look, KTLUniversity.com. Get the 6-hour replay of the webinar that has changed the world a million times over. We got our own solar flare the next day, called M446, which is my name in Hebrew. So it's a lot of big things happening, but the biggest thing of them all is Mama's event. She just celebrated her born day on Saturday.
Saturday.
At the hair show, we turned up with Mama. You know what I'm saying? So
that was fun.
She got to see me in my Pope attire. I did my first sermon yesterday.
That was so
for the
cool
Mineral Ministries. And it's an extension of this work that we're doing. And it's a way for me to even talk about worms and parasites in the Bible and bring attention to our family here in the South to have all the information in front of them, but don't know how to, interpret it, decode it, receive it. You know what I'm saying? Turn it, weave it, and you know what I'm saying, turn it into gold. So we just here doing the work, you know what I mean? And appreciative for the opportunity, to get on these platforms and speak to the world and lend some light and some clarity to topics so we could all be the best versions of ourselves for our children and our posterity.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Brother Rich.
No doubt. I want to thank everybody tuned in. We got about 1,600 people in the chat. Hit that like button.
Oh my
before
goodness.
we get out of here. So this, so everybody can see this show. Make sure you tell your friends if this is important. Share the video. There's a power in sharing a video. The same way we share gossip. Share this video.
Somebody says something in the chat, and it's worth noting, especially if you're here in the South. Black walnut. They got a black walnut tree on Mama's block, right?
Yes, they do.
The black walnuts, they
the black. I forgot about the black walnut. That's what I forgot about. That's, Thanks, Blue.
Black walnuts be all
Brother
on the
Rich,
ground.
Black walnut.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Black walnut will expel parasites out of your system. Wormwood, black walnut.
Yes.
Excellent. Family, get Blue.
There's another herb that I'm thinking of, but pull up on Saturday if you can. If not, tune in, and if not that, hit Mama up. She'll have the full list, but it's a few herbs. I'll even recommend to her that she get the seasonal cleanse together for summer. Which is right around the corner.
Yes,
and it's not too late to do something for spring.
No.
All right.
Indeed.
Nope.
But peace, y'all. Appreciate it.
All right.
Peace, family. Thank you, family. Take care.
Thanks, Brother
Peace.
Rich. Thanks, family.
Thank you, Mama Pill.
Thanks, Blue.
Thank you, Renee Gibson, for just hitting up my cash app. Thank you, Renee Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Renee Gibson.
Okay.
All right, family. Peace.
All right.
All right.
Peace.